This fall, voters here in Maine will have a chance to weigh in on several changes to how the state runs elections, including requiring photo IDs at the polls. But now the very wording of that question is the subject of a new legal challenge, as some argue it is unfair. News Center Maine's Donovan Lynch has more from the State House.
A battle over words now heading to court.
I do think that there is bias.
This November, voters will decide whether to change Maine's laws to require a photo ID at the polls and to restrict some absentee voting practices. Now, the leaders behind this push are suing Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows over how she worded the ballot question that will appear on Election Day.
Maine statute requires that ballot questions be stated in a clear, concise, and direct manner, and the ballot question for voter ID for me is anything but.
The question, using the proposed legislation as guidance, asks voters, among other things, whether they want to eliminate 2 days of absentee voting, end ongoing absentee voter status for seniors and those with disabilities, and require photo IDs before voting. Republican State Representative Laurel Libby, who helped lead this campaign to get the issue in front of voters, argues Bellows' wording was motivated by her personal opposition to the effort, and that the way she wrote the question is confusing because it places more minor details ahead of the proposal's main point.
It buries the lead. The actual primary question is if Maine voters support voter ID.
If they didn't want those other provisions to be in the question, they shouldn't have included them in the proposed law.
Bellows points to the more than 25 changes Libby's proposal would make to state law that are separate from showing a photo ID to vote.
We did our best to be clear, concise, and direct and follow the Constitution and the law.
Bellows says the way she wrote the question was informed in part by the 318 suggestions her office received during the public comment period for the question's wording. Now, under Maine law, a judge needs to issue their final decision on this wording within 40 days of the wording being published. That was on May 5th. In Augusta, Donovan Lynch, News Center, Maine.